What is up, everybody? It's Denise Salcedo. Welcome back to the channel. I am very excited to introduce my guest for today because she is going to be bringing all the glam here to this interview. We got TNA Wrestling backstage interviewer, Gia Miller. Gia, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much, Denise.
I know we talked about this a whole lot the first time that you and I did our first interview together, but I always love how glamorous you are. Like, girl, I need all the tips. I need everything that you can, your wisdom.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I have no choice but to be glamorous. My mother bestowed it upon me. But I really feel like glamorousness radiates from the inside. And in my humble opinion, you are very glamorous, Denise.
Oh, I'm going to take it. It radiates from the inside.
Absolutely.
I love it. Well, Gia, it's nice to have you back here. I know that we've done an interview before, but I'm really excited to talk to you because the last time we talked, I think it was like 2022. So much time has gone by since then. So I was just very excited when I found out we were going to get to chat again.
Yes, I was so excited to talk to you too. Yeah, it's been a minute. A lot has changed. A lot has happened. And here we are.
So the last time that you were here, you had just been with the company for about 2 years because I know you did 1 year where you weren't signed and then 1 year where you were signed. And so now I feel like you really have become, the face of the backstage interviewers for TNA. Like you are the go-to person. For you, like now that it's been so long or several years now with TNA, how would you compare your growth from like day one to where you are right now?
Oh man. I mean, well, I'm from day one, I really had minimal experience. Like I've always been a performer. I've always I had broadcasting classes, but that was it. Like it was education was the full extent. I had not had any sort of professional experience at all. But I was confident in myself, but I feel like that confidence has just grown and grown and grown, and you can really see that in my work and on camera. That I feel at home on that set. I feel at home in that locker room, and even when I do mess up, I don't even worry about it because it's just like this is just what I do.
It's just natural now, right? Like you're just used to it.
It really has become second nature. I've had producers in the past say, "Man, I just love that I can just bark words at you and then you can form it into a cohesive sentence." And I'm like, "Thank you."
I was going to ask you about that because I know that everybody is different, right? When it comes to wrestlers as well, there's certain wrestlers, you get bullet points, you go out there, you cut your promos. Some people need to be scripted verbatim. And it's the same thing for backstage interviewers. There are backstage interviewers that need to know exactly what the question that they're asking is and what exactly the wrestler is going to say back. And then there's interviewers that it's like, okay, just make sure you get this point across and go from there. So what would you say is like your style, and did it evolve over the years?
I must say, I do love when someone gives me every single word. I'm like, awesome. I get to turn my brain off. I don't even have to think.
I think it's harder, Gia.
Really?
Yeah, so? I think it's harder because if someone tells you you have to exactly say this, all of a sudden you're like, wait, what was that again?
Yes, I definitely get what you mean because there is that little bit of added pressure of like, okay, I have to make sure I have to say coming up next, or I have to say in a little while. Everything is especially the time words, where are we at in the show? Where are we at in the program? I definitely get what you're saying with that. And I totally agree. It's like, sometimes they'll just, and especially as the trust has grown, like, oh, Gia can kind of go with the flow. I have improv experience. And so this is kind of what we're going for. This is kind of what we want. We just want to make sure that we get this point across. I'm like, okay, I do like that because I get to add my voice to it. It doesn't sound like someone fed me words. It is Gia Miller asking the question.
Yeah, that's why I personally I feel like what marks a good interviewer is somebody who sounds like they're right, like it's just them, like it's just them speaking and they don't sound like robotic or anything like that, right? So here's the thing. It looks easy to be a backstage interviewer, right? But there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you have to be aware of, that you have to know about. To the fans or to people that have never done anything like that, what would you say are like the the easiest things and the hardest things?
I mean, I say the easiest thing for me is just going to work. I love being there. I love seeing all my friends. I love getting done up. I just love being there to perform and be in front of the camera. That part comes really easy to me. I would say honestly, especially for TNA because we do the pre-taped shows, is keeping up with the order, not just order of events, but also order of outfits. That is one thing I've become pretty famous for is my quick change ability. And also someone saying, we need 24:37. Go. Okay. I know exactly what earrings I wore for that. I know the shoes. I know the dress. And I can just pop it on. It just kind of comes second nature to me. And back in 2020-ish, when we were doing the closed set tapings, there were some times where we were doing like, oh my gosh, like 6 episodes in a weekend. And so having to remember all 6 episodes, outfits, jewelry, this, that, and the other, it gets a little crazy. But that would, in my opinion, is the hardest part, is keeping up with that order and making sure that you're in the right space of this question that you're asking and your full appearance.
I was going to say credit to you because I would have cheated at this point. I would have been like, you know what? I'm going to wear the exact same piece of jewelry every single. That way I just have to change the outfit and not the jewelry because I just too much.
I have started doing that now.
I was going to say,
definitely. Right? Early on, I was like, okay, each week needs to be completely unique. Now it's like, okay, I'm going to wear this necklace for 4 weeks. I'm going to wear these earrings for 4 weeks. Sounds good.
Yeah, because I was going to say it's jewelry. Like you can repeat it. No one's going to get mad at you. No one. And it's going to take a while for some people to even catch on into that.
Yes. If they're paying that close attention, it's like, hey, I'm not supposed to be the focus here. There's other things happening on this side.
I love that. All right. So Gia, now with all of these years of experience underneath your belt as a backstage interviewer, what do you say is the secret to being a really good backstage interviewer?
Honestly, go with the flow, being able to adapt to, because in the last second, something may change. Be ready for a curveball to be thrown at you. If you're able to adapt and adjust and overcome things constantly changing, card subject to change, and so is our work. Just be ready. That is probably the biggest thing that people need to be ready for.
So with that being said, Gia, you've been with TNA now for a bit. Have you decided to stick around with the company? Are you going to be with them longer? What's the plan?
I have. In fact, I've actually signed a new contract for 3 more years with the company. Honestly, it is my desire to stay with TNA as long as they will have me. It has really, not only is it the place that has raised me and has grown me so much from literally nothing, but it is such an incredible place to work. The people that are involved in that company that you see on screen and then that you don't see on screen are all so great and really have become my family. And I want to stay there till the wheels fall off, baby.
Okay, so you just signed a 3-year contract with TNA. What was your reaction to learning that, hey, the company wants me to stick around and still be their interviewer? How'd you feel about that?
It honestly it's not lost on me. How I'm so grateful that as things change, as things grow, as we became TNA, it's a whole new era that they want me to still be a part of this whole new era. And we're constantly growing and constantly getting bigger and better. And the fact that they want me around for that. And I've even had people say, you have been a part of that process. And it's not lost on me how major that is. And as a wrestling fan, as a TNA fan, that is just, it's otherworldly. And I really don't take it for granted.
Right, because it's this thing where you almost associate interviewers with a certain time period of every promotion, right? Because every promotion at any given time period had like their main person, whether it's the people that are announcing at the broadcasting table or the people backstage doing the interviews. And so now, like, you can say the last couple of years has sort of been the era that you've been a part of.
Yeah, it's really cool. I was the backstage interviewer to usher in the new TNA era. I've been a part of so many historic moments so far. I can't wait to see what we drum up next.
What has been your favorite, like the moment, Gia, anything that you were like, oh my God, either you got the butterflies again, or you're thinking, I can't believe I'm going to do this, or was it a certain interview, a certain moment that really drummed up those emotions?
You know what? It actually happened really recently in the past couple of weeks or so. I kicked off the episode in the ring with Jordan Grace, doing an interview in ring. I hardly ever, I don't think I've ever done an in ring interview. I've done on stage interviews plenty of times, but this was, as soon as the show starts, the first face you see is Gia Miller, and like that is really really cool. I just, that gave me butterflies. And then there's also pressure because it's like, okay, you've got to get the crowd ready to start the show. Like, it's all on you. You are the first face they see, and to hopefully bring out some excitement, it's like, okay, here we go, we're getting started.
I love that, because talk about some serious pressure. Like even wrestlers feel that when they're the ones opening the show. So now imagine being an interviewer and not having that experience to like do promos and things like that. You still get the butterflies.
Absolutely. It never goes away. That part is always there. I always feel a little bit of nervousness, a little bit of excitement right before I go out to do anything. And I think that's kind of what you feel, that it radiates. And I feel like that excitement, it bleeds out into the crowd, and you really feel it.
That's so awesome. Well, Gia, I got to tell you, congratulations on re-signing with TNA. There's a lot of really great stuff coming about that I do want to ask you about. And one of them is, we've been seeing, well, we're on the road in just a couple of weeks now to Slammiversary, July 20th, Montreal, Quebec, Canada. TNA has been selling out their buildings and stuff. So that's been like going around. That's been exciting. Talk to us about heading into the road to Slammiversary and your role and how you feel about it.
Oh man, well, like you said, we've been selling out all of these events, all of these venues, and this one's going to be the largest in quite a while. I can't wait for us. And I know that we are going to sell out that arena, and I can't wait to see it. Oh, I can't wait to feel the energy in that building, in the locker room, because that's the thing, is that the energy that the fans bring, it bleeds right into the locker room. We feel it and we feed on it. And I think it's a really symbiotic relationship that we pump each other up. And so when we feel that, and I think everybody's feeling that excitement, that build up, because we're still a couple weeks out and things are looking pretty good and things are building. So, oh, it's going to get interesting. It's going to get exciting.
And also, I do have to ask you, what has your reaction been to this like relationship that we've been seeing between TNA and WWE? Because obviously you're a fan, but you also work for the company, so you get to be part of it. You get to see the behind the scenes stuff that the fans don't get to see. And sometimes obviously that comes with a little bit of a spoiler, which is great, of course. So what has all of that been like for you?
And I really think it's great. I think it's such a healthy relationship. We see a lot of like back and forth and treating each other as equals, that, sometimes doesn't happen with crossovers. Sometimes there is kind of a big dog, small dog kind of dynamic. And I don't really feel that at all. It really feels like NXT, TNA, we are on the same level. And I mean, I believe that. I believe TNA is the best wrestling company in the world. You can quote me on that. But it's really great. And I feel like there's a lot of excitement happening with that. And the faces that I see in and out, they're always, super kind and excited to be a part of the TNA locker room, even if for a moment. It's really awesome.
Awesome. Last question for you. All right. 3 years, you're signing up to still remain with TNA. Is there anything you haven't done yet, or that you would like to see your role expand somehow? I don't know. What's the thing for you that you're like, ooh, I would really like it if this happened, whether it's TNA going to a certain country you've never been before, anything.
I say all the time, the world is my oyster and I am the pearl. If there's anything on the table, I want to capture it. I want to do it. I have no real expectations, but I leave myself open for any possibility. It's funny you mention other countries, because I do. Oh my gosh. I haven't had the opportunity to travel internationally other than to Canada with TNA, and the UK and Australia. We've done tours there. I would love, love, love to be a part of the next time we get to do that.
Amazing. Well, Gia, I want to thank you so much for coming on here. Your energy is just so nice. It's so nice to chat with you all the time. So I really appreciate you coming on here and sharing your big news. So congratulations. Before we go, let the people know where they can support you, where they can follow you, and of course, where they can watch TNA.
Oh, of course. You can find me on all social media. I am at Mean Gia Miller. I know it's a little silly, the name, but trust me, there's a side, so you don't want to bring it out. Anyway, Mean Gia Miller, and you can watch TNA on TNA Plus and on Access TV.
Awesome, guys. I'm going to post all of the links to that in the description box below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel for more, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye, everyone.